Hello, everyone. I'm Claudiu Murgan, the host of the Spiritual Inspired podcast. Please subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment, and share it with your friends. My guest today is Fran Bailey. Fran, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So, over 16 years ago, you trained with world-renowned energy healer Rosalyn Bruyere. What brought you to her, and what was the result of that interaction?
Well, that was my original career as a dancer. So I was teaching at a Montessori school, children, and one of the parents, I would have the parents come in and dance with the children. And one of the parents he's an alternative doctor from South Africa, and he was opening an alternative center. And he said, "Franny, you can see energy." And I went, "Okay, what's that?" So he basically introduced me to Rosalyn, his trainer out of California, and she's a medical intuitive and very clairvoyant. And I started training and went, "Oh my goodness, this is something I've been doing all my life." And I didn't realize what this was. But so that's how it started. And I was like, they found me basically. It's like, okay, I'm getting this really fast. So that's how it started, but she's a very good healer.
And how did you use the skills you gain by working with her?
So a lot of the energy workers, we worked at the Alliance Institute for Integrative Medicine in Cincinnati, and she would come and train all the energy healers. So there were energy healers, chiropractors, acupuncturists, there were MDs. And so it was kind of an experiment. So what she would do is she would teach us how to run energy through the chakra system, how to feel the heat off a body. What are you feeling? What are you sensing? Where do you go from here? And basically taught us how to pull the energy together while there are needles in someone's body, or, so it's part of this process. So she actually helped me to find the healer in me, basically. And I think that's really where the beauty lies, as far as finding that in yourself. So,
and that's because, as you very well known, we are energy, we are vibration, we are frequency. So as soon as we start channeling that energy into the proper channel, then we get healed and everything starts functioning properly again.
Right. And I do believe that, as a dancer, I had to study in the anatomy and, do anatomy classes all the time. And of course, I lived in my body, moved with my body. So I knew it very well intuitively. And, I could feel the blocks of when someone is, out of sync, as you said, and then you just kind of slowly pull it together and you work together, basically, on making these energy channels flow. And if there's illness, then you go directly into the illness or cancer, you go in and kill the cancer cells, not explode them, but kill them as they, encased. So this is a perfect instrument, what we have, what we live in. And I really think that if we just trust it and get to know it better, then a lot of self-healing can begin.
And now, based on your experience over the years, what are the most common blockages you find in those who you treated?
Well, it really depends on what they're coming for. Like, for instance, if someone has doubt, and if they have fear around the next place where they need to go, usually it hits the third chakra, which is about self-worth, and the blocks are there. So that's like the patterns exist in that self-worth, and maybe because of the personality of that person, they hold on to certain ways of behavior or thinking, and then that emotionally comes into the body gets affected, the third chakra falls down, and it kind of deflates, and then my job is to let them see that, okay, you do have health worth, self-worth, and you can open this up so you can love yourself in the heart. So
Yes.
it's that's very common. It's a common thread. And if there's illness, then we just go right to the illness and still remind the patient or person that they are whole.
Yes.
This is just a hiccup, so
And
follow what your body's doing, and let's just play with this, rest, be with it, but don't put yourself down for it.
yes, because sometimes we really want to heal ourselves, but there is still resistance. I talked to other guests about not wanting to let go,
Right.
subconsciously maybe,
It's
and
it
that is something that pulls us back.
Yeah, yeah. It's a big one. It's a really big one. And it's interesting. There are clients or people, we as humans hold on to fear because we don't want to open that door because it's unknown. And so if we hold on to the fear and be masters at holding on to that fear, then we're not going to move unless that master is taken away, and then we can flow.
Yes. Fran,
Yeah.
in 2002, you channel your passion for dancing and energy channeling into the Shiva method, seeking harmony in energy, voice, and action. Can you please expand on that?
Yeah. So during this process of finding out about my energy, learning how to run energy, going through deep meditation, and I worked with two incredible other clairvoyant healers who taught me about my chakra system and the Hindu perspective of what that looks like and where the blocks are. Basically, so I channeled facing north, which is forward. They channeled this word to me in 2002, and it was called Shiva, seeking harmony and voice in action. I went, okay, well, wow, what am I going to do with that? So it's taken me this long to really understand the energy of what it is, and the energy of had to be built to understand that this method is a self-healing method. And that was my whole purpose all along, to find that. And so I've, through the years of training, and broken it down to very simple things: meditation, body movement, energy, understanding your energy system, Enneagram, which is study of personalities. Where are the hooks? Where do you get drawn off through your personality? And basically those are all the three things that have made the Shiva method sort of be born.
Yes, and some people may wonder, there are so many light workers or people who are psychics that came out of the woodwork recently in the last 4, 5, 7 years, and they might say, okay, how do you get your clients? How do you attract people to your energy? And in my opinion, is based on how do you vibrate to that person, because there are billions of people who need help, and only a handful of let's say 1 million or 2 million light workers maybe all over the world who are doing this type of work. So you really have to be attracted to someone and go through their own programs, because this is how you create yours. You resonated with this approach. Other people do breath work in a different way, or chakra system and chakra clearing in a different way. So there is room for everyone, I think, in this field to come find the right professional and start the healing process.
I think, because of my experience, I think if you find the right tools and accept the fact that it is about finding your energy and finding where you resonate, how you resonate, it is this self-discovery. And that is the key. If you understand that you have to be accountable for your growth and get on board with it, then it becomes a lot easier. So I've tried to break it down into really simple ways to do that. So, it's a good thing.
Yes. You also mentioned Anagram. So I recently interviewed a Anagram expert. So how do you do your own reading when you interact with the client?
So, it took me a couple years to get facilitated. I can now do readings. And it's definitely a process. And I think, before I wrote the book, Emergence, I went through this sort of transition of, oh my God, my children are leaving and I'm here with my husband and, what am I going to do? And the Enneagram showed me all about my patterns of behavior and that, oh my God, I have problems. Or no, I have problems. I have issues around my personality that I could actually see and work with. And so basically, there's a body type, heart type, or head type. And I'm a heart type and I'm perfect. I'm the nurturer, the giver, right? The helper. So I think that was the last thing to do, to figure out, oh my God, I am not perfect. I do have these things that I need to watch. And therefore, we all have this sort of self-sabotaging thing that we do to ourselves. And why does that happen? Why does that happen? So it's that, whether you want to go back to your childhood or your self-esteem or whatever that is, it's what happens in that personality. If I'm in the heart and I want to help you and I want to help that other person, I want to help that other person. Oh, and I'll help you too because I'm intuitive. I can do all that, right? And then you begin to say, oh, well, I'm helping all these people. Why am I feeling diminished? And why aren't they loving me? Ooh, there's the key. So why am I doing that? It's like, okay, well, what do you need? You need to come home, just lay down on the floor and ask the question, what do you really need?
Yes.
So there is that self-analysis that I had to go through in order to finish the system, because no one is perfect. We all have faults. We are human. We have good, bad, and ugly. So, it's just the way it is.
Yes, and the key word is what you said, need, not want. And I had to
Right.
go over that hump recently on
Yeah.
my own journey.
Yes. It's funny, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a wake up, man. It really is yes, that's always a good one. And then you can laugh at yourself, which is the most important, is to be
Indeed.
able to laugh at oh my God, there you go again.
And can one identify herself in multiple types? Or you say that one is predominant, even the other ones are still seeping in?
Yeah, so we are all types. I mean, we are all types. We just tend to navigate through one. And I mean, I love the study of Enneagram. I'm not locked into it because I think we can change. I think we can use it to our benefit. And um, it's important to know that when you're in that ego part, where your ego goes, if you're really locked into what it should be and has to be and ought to be, then ooh, you're kind of out of the authentic self. So that's where the Enneagram is really good, and I can read the energy of the person and understand, do they navigate through the head, the heart, or the body? And then that's a cue for me. And then I get them to understand how they're navigating and how they might want to look at things from a different aspect,
Yes.
so that they can use all of the mind, heart, and body.
Yeah. And going back for a second to the energy reading and energy healing, do you do remote healing as well, or just in person?
Oh no, I definitely, yes, especially, well, with COVID, I had to, so I learned how to do that. I mean, I would do it anyway, but like I might get a hit or a dream about someone, something might be happening, or you need to call me. You've come into my dreams 3 times. Stop it. Come see me. you know. So it's that kind of, I have that automatically. But yeah, sometimes it's easier in some ways. In person is pretty powerful, but this will work.
Yes,
So
because we are all part of the field in the
yes,
bond.
yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
So
Friend, there is a lot of chaos in the world these days, and most of the time, without being conscious, we let this state of being seep into our daily life. How can we avoid, in your opinion, such thing from happening?
observe, you know, observe what you don't have to read the news. I mean, I just it is so chaotic. I mean, I'll touch on it for sure. It's not that I'm not unaware, but if you're an empath at all, you don't want to take that in, and because it will trickle through your life, and you don't really understand where that mood came from or why you're reacting to that person. Could be from an outside influence, and this is a really key time to stay grounded and present and focus on love, because boy, do we need it. I mean, I said this the other day, walking into Whole Foods, which is a grocery store here, and I can pick up on the energy so quickly. It's frightening sometimes. I mean, it's just what it is. And I'll see people, I'll get a hit and they're just like in tunnel vision and they're stuck. They are so angry. And I will get a hit and say, wow, that is not a good tunnel to go in, because that's going to take you right down. And so I look at that, send them love, but it's like that's their trajectory. That's where they're going, or they're frustrated, or there's jealousy, or there's, I don't know. It's just they're spacey, like they're nowhere. You can see it in driving. You can see it. I said, girl, you better ground. It's just, it has to be. So I'm trying to be awake and conscious of saying hello to people and saying hello to who they are and where they are, because I have to, that's where they are. All I can do is send love,
Yes.
and hope that they can move through it, whatever they.
And do you feel that the energy field you create around yourself before going shopping or in a crowd is efficient enough to protect you from such depleting energies?
Yeah, so I stay grounded, stay present, have my boundaries. Boundaries are really important. For instance, if that person is really angry, and I feel that person coming towards me and they want to vent, I can tell that's like, you're in my way, I will just simply move away or say, you know what, that's not mine. I wish you well, kind of. So you have to have boundaries. Observe, acknowledge, try not to judge, but just be present.
Yes. Yeah, conflict is not good these days because it can escalate and degenerate into something no one wants in the end.
Right.
So.
Yeah, exactly.
Fran, because we are talking about events happening in front of our eyes, we are approaching a solar eclipse on April 8th. And by the time this interview will be posted, the eclipse would be over. But I think it's a good record in time for what we are thinking now. Do you think something major is going to happen? How the world will react to these type of energies?
I think it's like I just spoke about it on one of my videos I just did. So I think it's we've got the equinox and it's spring. It's about recreating. It's about new energy, completely new energy. It's, look at our shadows and it's just like this clearing. It's clearing it for us. So the energy is really beautiful right now. It's just beautiful. So it's a time to clean your closets, get rid of stuff. Really, really important that you associate that with this new energy. So you're getting rid of old and bringing in the new. It's endings and beginnings, endings and beginnings. I really think that that's pretty powerful.
Yes, it's a very interesting event, and
Yeah,
we'll see how it's going to pan out for each individual and for humanity in its entirety.
right.
Yeah.
Agree.
Fran, I assume you've visited many places in the world. There's anyone in particular who shook you to the core?
Person or places?
Places.
Oh, wow. Couple places, yes. I mean, there's quite a few. I went to Brazil, I went to Bahia, Cuba. It's amazing. I studied African dance in Cuba and also in Bahia. And Bahia is all about artists and dancers. And so I studied the Orishas, which are these 7 gods and goddesses, and they believe in the earth, obviously, but all of their movement was from tribal. And we studied with this tribal guy in the studio who had never been in the studio, lived on the land. So to find that root and to find that place of, our first, second chakra rhythm, it was quite something for me. And then Cuba was amazing. That was recent. Again, the whole music and dance and the ability to how they move beyond their environment and how they raise the bar for living and communicating with their families with music and dance. And then England, we were just in England in the Cotswolds, and that was just incredible. I felt my ancestry. We did the what do you call it? The line thing where I don't know.
The ley line or not?
The ley lines,
Yeah.
yes. Stonehenge, and yes. And I just kind of broke down in tears. And I think that was really, really powerful because I could feel the energy and the oldness of it and how we are all connected and that we are moving in the right place and right direction.
Yes. Yeah, and going back to Cuba, we as a family really appreciate those guys. They are very artistic, very creative.
Yes.
The music is unbelievable.
It is. It is. It really is.
Yeah, it's sad that they don't have more exposure to the world, and they are just constrained to to their island. But other than that, I mean, they are unbelievable.
Yeah, and we were watching this. So we went on this back roads trip, which is biking and athletic stuff, and then we would study the culture. And we saw this performance by this musician and dancer. So he would teach the dancers all the instruments, drumming and dancing and rhythmic, working with, and he made all the drums, all the chairs, he's an artist as well. And he didn't speak English, but I looked at him and like, and he said, I work with autistic children. I said, I do too. And he gave me one of his paintings. I mean, I don't know. That's just amazing to me.
Yes, we do have a lot of Cuban artwork in our house, paintings and sculptures. Yes,
Oh,
we
wow.
acquired them over the years and we even gifted them to our friends
Mm-hmm.
because it's something different. I mean, the paper they make out of sugar cane and the colors they use and the jewelry, but the sculptures are just amazing. You know, the wood
Mm-hmm.
they use and is
Yeah.
quite a feast.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm so glad we have a comp. That's wonderful. Not many people have been there. So,
Yes, and again, I mean, Canadians go more often to Cuba because they are allowed to.
right.
US, not that much. The US citizens, not that much, but also Dominican Republic has some creative people as well. We
Mm-hmm.
visited there and we bought some artwork from them as well. Yeah.
Right, right. Well, good. That's nice.
We have to support them. If you go there and you enjoy the weather and what they offer, their hospitality, somehow you have to pay back and not necessarily through what you pay for your ticket, but supporting the local economy and
Right.
the local artists.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it was a gift and never forget it. So,
Yes. Fran, do you have any other projects you are working on that you'd like to mention?
um, yeah, I just finished a Shiva introduction online. So that's now on my website, which is 8 modules of, sort of if you're starting to do this work and or if you need to know more. I mean, it's really for all kinds of levels, but it really gives you the sort of compassing of the work and how to start the ball rolling. Um, there's a free meditation on my website, franbaileyhealer.com. I mean, I have all these tools. I just did some mandalas, channeling the colors and energies of each chakra. And that's like a toolkit, and explaining each one. And then you lay them down and you study them. And then you find out where your blocks are or what you're drawn to. And it's here, I'll show you one. Um, this is, oh, let's do the second chakra. So this is the second.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, it's kind of fun, and that was I'm not an artist, but somehow I was doing it. So I think that if you're on this path, that there are all kinds of things you can use. My book Emergence explains about the chakras, and it's full of color and quotes and how to get started, and how to be reminded of who you are, where you are.
So how did Emergence came into creation?
Emergence was somebody said, Fran, you need to write a book. You need to put this down. Your work is just too, you got to do this. I won't say a bad word, but you can imagine what I said. Oh my God. And anyway, so I knew he was right. I knew it was coming because I had notes and notes of many years of training. I mean, years. And so I said, okay. And it basically was channeled, and I wasn't going to do any of it until this channel was open. And so it's full of colors. It's beautiful. It's one of those like, oh. And each artist was chosen. And I sort of found them. I don't know how I found them. Each quote was one of those kind of a gem, as they say. So it's out of love and positive energy.
Nice. Fran, anything else you like to mention? Any event that changed your life? And my viewers will be delighted to hear about.
Mm. Yes, I think, well, I had a near-death experience at 12 that sort of put me on a spiritual path at a very young age. That was one, and they kept trying to find me through these different places of meditation, 19 and my 20s and so forth. Then they finally found me in my 40s. And But before that, or after that, my father passed away with cancer many years ago. And I had 3 small children. And a year after he died, I got cancer. And it was cervical cancer. And I was training with Rosalyn and knew that I intuitively would go inside myself and say, okay, let's start killing these cancer cells and let's meditate on this and that your body is whole. And they told me had to take everything out, that I might die. And I said, no, I won't. And I went to another gynecologist and we worked together. And I started healing myself, stage 4.
Beautiful.
And that's when the Shiva Method really said, okay, now I have to do this. Because I think it was powerful, it was innate, but it was very quiet. I did it very quietly. I didn't announce it. I just did the work on myself. And I think that's what all this work is. I'm the guinea pig. So I'm going to do this work on myself first before I can share it or want to share it. I need to know that it works.
Yes. So the messages, the crisis, the healing, and then the application of what you went through to serve others. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that, we all have these moments in our life. We can't help it. And if we can learn how to kind of ride the wave and have the tools to do that, then, that's good.
Yes. Fran, what would you consider an accomplished life?
Oh, accomplished life. Loving yourself, loving your life, trusting the process, sharing your gifts, loving your children, loving your partner, your parents, integrity.
Yes. So in other words, enjoying every moment of what you are going through.
Mm-hmm.
In an aware state of being.
Yes.
Yes,
absolutely.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fran, we're approaching the end of the interview. Any final thoughts?
Well, if you want, if you're interested in some sessions, I work in 3s. So if you really are kind of stuck or need a little push, I am working at 3 sessions, and by then you're gonna know the path. And then after that, you can do tune-ups or whatever suits you. Go to the website, find a tool that works for you if you want. I'm available. So
thank you very much. We'll post the website, your website, in the description of the video. And once again, thank you very much for your time and what you are doing for everyone around you.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And to my viewers, thank you for watching. Share it, like it. Visit spiritualinspired.ca. And until next time, love and gratitude.